يروي كل القلوب.
Welcome back, guys. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Sunday between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. during this blessed month of Ramadan. Now, this one is specifically for our fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring ones as well. Now, today we have the immense pleasure of welcoming a woman whose journey amplifies resilience, reinvention, and relentless pursuit of purpose. Born in a township, she traversed through the corridors of uncertainty to emerge as a beacon of empowerment for women across the globe. Now, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Pandora Mabai, the president of Big Business Africa, a true visionary and advocate for change. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine, sir.
It's a pleasure having you. I just want to get into this conversation. I mean, I know that there's a lot about you on social media and people definitely follow you a lot. There's a lot of young girls that are inspired by you. We always hear about your journey a little bit here and there, but I did follow through with your journey to understand a little bit more about you. I just wanted you to be able to share that journey with me and share it with our audience as well. I know you started off as a struggling debater and today you're now the president of Big Business Africa. Please just run us through that journey and how did things actually move and shake in your direction to become the person that you are today?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. So the story about debating and me failing dismally in debating always comes out because Pandora, the speaker, came after that. And for me, that was high school, where I tried debating and I failed dismally in debating. So part of the question was, if you have struggled, how did you succeed in becoming who you've become? So I have to be very honest that in high school, I was a struggling academia in many ways, but with each and every individual, all you need is one hero that helps you to get up, try again. There's no such thing as failure. And that will go to my late stepfather, Christopher, a man that really believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. So failing in debating, he was like, look, it's not the end of the world. You can do other things. Just keep going and find who you are. And with that, I could keep on looking on who is Pandora, what works for me. And that is how I've become who I am.
No, I love that. And, you know, speaking about that, it actually resonates with a lot of young entrepreneurs right now because some of them might not be book smart, but they're very street smart as well, you know, and some of them actually are book smart, but you just want to put your focus on something that's actually going to benefit you in this world in particular. So it's important for people to be able to hear case studies where someone has become successful, you know, through adversity. So I'm really appreciative of that. But I just want to touch on a little bit more about some of the challenges you faced, you know. Like I said, I went through your story. I know that, you know, you've been through a few challenges in your life when it comes to even your wedding being called off for societal reasons or whatever it might be, you know, society holding their own opinions on different things. But you took all of that and, you know, I want to understand something when it comes to the mindset of an entrepreneur like you. How did you manage to navigate through those difficult moments and those challenges to get to where you are today? Because, I mean, being the president of Big Business Africa isn't an easy thing to do.
Being a president for Big Business Africa, for me, it's one of the confirmations that delay is not denial. Whatever you go through in life, always trust your process. So some of the struggles coming to being a runaway bride that always comes up, which is what birthed Pandora, the speaker, the advocate of change, is that we live in a society where we are measured by societal expectations. And I think if you really look at my name is Pandora. It's a mystery on its own. And growing up, people always ask, like, you're Pandora, why were you named Pandora? Yeah. And I think I became so curious. And even with when I was getting married, I said, is this it? There's got to be more to life because we end up selling ourselves short based on societal expectations, and you don't want to live your true self. You are in this conformed institution because of what is expected of you. But what is it that you really, really want? So some of the struggles when I had to make that decision to walk away was, what are the people going to say? That was the first fear that I had. But out of that, there was this inner voice in me that kept on saying, there's got to be more to life. Who am I and why am I here? when I started asking myself those two questions, that is when I knew that not even the sky is the limit. I can be anything I want to be in life.
I love that. And people are loving this conversation on social media. Guys, please definitely stay in contact with us on socials. Let us know what you think of this interview so far. I know that people are really enjoying it. But I just want to touch on you as a speaker, right? Because clearly you are an incredible speaker, but also someone who is a change maker without a doubt. Now, looking at different industries in South Africa, we look at mining, we look at even logistics. A lot of it is male dominated. Now, with you being the president of Big Business Africa, that automatically on its own puts a woman in a position of power. Normally, also, it would be a male-dominated industry in that sense when you're looking at business in general. How have you managed to navigate or be the change maker for all of these other women, for them to positively believe that anything is possible and take up the space in these different industries as well?
I love that question because I'm a strong believer that there's no overnight success. Number one, that's what the young women need to understand. I think with Big Business Africa and being a board president, surrounded by powerful men who are sitting on this board, but out of them, they could look at me and decide that we need to be led by a powerful woman, and the only president we can have is Pandora. That for me is an honor in a male-dominated world where men were able to identify my greatness. So it all goes back to the work that I have put in over the years. Resilience, persistence, keeping to your lane, even when others are not following you and not understanding. Your authentic self will always attract you to those who are meant to guide you and walk with you. So when you are in a space of being authentic, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. So here I was, this young woman, doing her public speaking, sitting on different positions within corporate, going into corporate. I was a marketing manager for L'Oreal. I was a group account director for Brave Group, which is an advertising agency. And here I was running a business at the same time. So with all these roles that I've had, I did not forget Pandora, the entrepreneur. And out of that, there were opportunities that were coming to take me to the other level because it's the work that I had put in. And there were people that were watching me. And Big Business Africa came to me. I did not go looking for it because I always say you withdraw what you deposit. That's what life is all about. And Big Business Africa, we are here to make a mark and say these men are led by a woman because we are defining the new era. That is what we are all about.
I love that. It's very, very powerful, Pandora. I just want to touch on, looking at family values as well. I know you're someone who emphasizes family values and you really do value the idea of family life and bringing those ethics and morals into even a business setting because a lot of them are very valuable in that sense. Now, we got Michelle that just came in with a comment on social media and she says she's struggling to find the balance between her personal life and her business life, because somehow the business life tends to overtake her personal life and it's very, very difficult for her, very stressful for her. Now, I want to know when it comes to you, because it seems as if you have a really good balance. How do you manage to have that balance between a personal life and a business life and manage it so well?
So it starts with finding inspiration. I'm inspired by the Muslim community and their stand for family. And if you look at their success and how they balance family and their business success, there is a beautiful balance there. And my conclusion was, sometimes we run so much chasing business that we forget the balance of family. We forget that there's no success without family. A family is a space that grounds you. I believe in marriage, that institution. I love it with all my heart. And I think it's one of the most beautiful institutions because out of a family, leaders, your children are the future leaders. They are watching you as parents. How are you leading? So that balance of having a family, you need to understand when it's time for family because in your family, that's where you get your inspiration. In your family, that's where you get to hear what is happening within societies, because children go to school. They're facing a lot of things in schools. There are a lot of things that are happening. And that's where you get to hear. And also having a partner where you are able to be both visionaries. I always say, find someone who aligns with who you are, because out of there, you will be able to grow as well. And I speak of this, I'm not married yet, and I will get married when the time comes. At this point in my life, I always say, do not rush into romantic relationship if you know it's gonna take away from you. Rather pursue your career and have set goals that you're not willing to compromise for anything. Because when you are in a family unit, the one that you are with will want you to thrive. They will want you to grow. They would want to support who you are. Never dim your light for anything.
No, definitely.
Family is supposed to be a space of love and not of breaking. So family, family, family.
I love it. I think we should really start pushing out the idea of a power couple in South Africa a lot more. But I just want to touch on something that is coming up with you being, you know, obviously the president of Big Business Africa. You are heading off to Angola very soon to be part of a Women in Business event, and you are a big speaker at that event. Maybe without sharing too much as well, just in closing, what type of messaging are you trying to push out in Angola for all the women out there?
So as the board president of Big Business Africa, I am amongst one of the speakers at the Young Women Business conference that is taking place in this weekend in Angola. It is organized by Anje Angola, and the president is Kumbi Jr. He's a young man that I can tell another story about. So for me, it's all about impacting the lives of entrepreneurs. It's us coming together to unpack the real truth, because we live in a digital world where everyone looks like they have made it. Everything is instant gratification. Everything is instant success. And I am going there specifically to say there is a journey to success. There is a process to success. So you need to choose your struggle. You need to choose your heart. You need to choose your win. Do not let what you see be your truth. Stand in your values, stand in your principles, and understand why you started the journey in the first place. Once you know your why, you will not fall into everything else that looks like it is your why.
I love that. You know, that's an amazing, you know, piece of motivation as well, inspiration for a lot of people out there. Pandora, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. It was great having you, being invited and to be here this evening. And I hope that a lot of young women who are in business will take away one thing out of this interview. There is no overnight success. Stand in your truth at all times.
Without a doubt, guys, that is Pandora Mabai, who is actually the president of Big Business Africa. And she's emphasizing the fact that, you know what, it takes a lot of hard work for you to become successful. There's no overnight success, but there is a lot of failures before you get to success. There's a lot of no's before you get that yes. But guys, on that note, we are going to head off to Masjid Al-Aqsa for Salah.
يروي كل القلوب